Hey guys. For a while I've been wanting to try to read some fanfics or something, but I've never really gotten around to actually doing it. So I'm gonna finally start off with this piece by SgtMarksman. It's based on a comment I made a few episodes back on So You Think You're a Brony. Uh, yeah. It's called Magnets and Manticores, A Tale of Beastly Love. It's Stephen Magnet and the Manticore. Enjoy. Magnets and Manticores, A Tale of Beastly Love. It was all a haze of red and fear, animal instincts taking over every sense and movement. My limbs did not respond to my commands, all of my muscles acting on their own accord. I was a prisoner within my own mind, forever lost to savagery. How many deaths would there be today? I could remember the 20 or so innocent creatures prior. I don't want to hurt people. I never wanted to be a monster, but damn me if those tiny little blobs of horse aren't delicious. BAM! A streak of pain came across my face and sent shockwaves through my entire body. It took only a second for me to rebound, though, but in those few moments, I regained enough sense to at least see what I was doing. There was a white thing in front of me with a big, stupid grin on its face. It looked me dead in the eyes and yelled, "Take that, you ruffian!" I could see it clearly now. It was a talking marshmallow on 4 little legs. It was joined by 5 others, a yellow blob, a purple blob with bacon hair, a flamboyant homosexual, a pink blob that was staring directly at the person reading this, and a redneck. Immediately I was sent in rage by this rainbow coalition of stupid blobs, so naturally I tried to horribly kill them all. But then something happened. The yellow blob came at me like a brony. My natural, Celestia now! Instincts told me to put that little nature blob in its place, after I'd ensured every other predator around me had seen this shiznay that I was seeing. But no, that didn't happen. I had raised my paw in every intention to strike, to kill, but for some strange reason I simply couldn't. Its mouth was moving, so I assumed it was forming words or was really thirsty. It indicated towards my paw with its weird appendage thing. I looked and saw something shocking. A thorn. A thorn! Yes! This was it. This was what had driven me into a mad rage and made me kill all those innocent bunnies. This tiny little insignificant plot device that drove me off the edge was right now, right in front of my face. And for some apparent reason, there was absolutely nothing I could do about it, despite the fact that I had working fingers. But it's okay. Yellow Blob was there. It grabbed it with its mouth and pulled it out. Mother of Celestia, that hurt like a mother bucker. But now I could see the world just fine again. Turns out the blobs were all ponies. Totally didn't see that one coming. The purple blob, in fact, didn't have bacon hair. The redneck was still a redneck. The marshmallow was now a slightly bigger marshmallow, and the pink one was, in fact, still staring at the reader because it wanted to know how hard that person was clopping right now. Oh, and the flamboyant homosexual was in the bushes doing something unimportant. I took the yellow pony in my hand and looked deep into her eyes. Those big, beautiful cyan eyes. Her perfect skinny form, so soft in his hands. Her warmth, so warming. I opened my mouth, my tongue being thick and long and extensively slimy. I dragged it all across her face. She tasted sweet and smelled like the forests. It was getting me strangely warm. Down there. With friendship. And then nothing sexual happened and I went about my merry way doing Manticore things, like checking my Ask blog on the Tumblr PonyNet. The serpent glided majestically along the floor, or whatever the hell it is you call the bottom of a river, of the Everfree Forest. His moustache had finally grown back in full, which he was very grateful for. Having something that had been covering the whole of a pony flank right in your nose for days on end was extremely unpleasant. But oh woe was this serpent named Stephen. It had gotten simply so lonely in the Everfree Forest since that delightfully delicious pair of ponies came to visit him those months ago. And that one fabulous white one that gave him his horrific gift. No one ever came to the Everfree Forest unless they were merely passing through, and even that was fairly rare. The cockatrice only wanted to chase around the little fillies that wandered into the forest, never the colts. Who knew why? The occasional parasprite that flew about only had a mind for eating smoking meat logs. The poison joke plants were only concerned with pruning their tentacles nobody knew about. Zecora raped babies. That only left the Manticore. And the Manticore... Come to think of it, what did the Manticore do? He was only seen once, as he barely ventured out of his cave for anything. Not even a cameo role or two. Hell, the Hydra wasn't nearly as interesting as that thing was. Dear Stephen, however, was brought both hope and distress by this fact. On the one fin hand thing, he had a chance for a friend. But on the other equally as fin hand thing, how did he get to it? A sea serpent going colliding through the trees wasn't very friend-inducing at all. At least not to most people. Oh, what a terribly atrocious situation dear, poor, oh, woe is Stephen Magnet was in. His name is also Magnet, by the way. His parents never did figure out how he worked. But then again, nobody in the Everfree Forest seemed to care about him. How sad. And then the Manticore showed up conveniently, and Stephen was very happy in certain parts of his body. Hello! Stephen shouted with great enthusiasm. The Manticore stared back at him with fear in its eyes. Oh my Celestia! A giant serpent! The Manticore cried with more fear than in the previous sentence. And so they stared at each other, and stared, and stared, and stared, and then stared some more. Casual sex? Inquired Magnet. Swag! The Manticore replied back. And so Stephen looked deep into the eyes of the Manticore and then slithered himself around its body. They looked at each other dead in the face and then shared one deep and especially long, passionate kiss. Flat-out serpent tongue on Manticore tongue wrestling each other for full control. The Manticore's paws ran up and down Stephen's strangely oily body and then started kissing lower. And lower. And lower. And lower. And lower still. And lower. Wow, Stephen was really long. And lower. And then he got down there. There's a different kind of thorn in that paw this time, Stephen cooed whilst twirling his moustache. Slurp, 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 slurp. Oh, sweet Celestia, what the fudgy nougats? The Manticore screamed, inadvertently causing marshmallow fluff in his mouth. It's not actually marshmallow fluff. I'm so sorry. That's never happened to me before. Stephen said woefully. Spraying a fellow beast in the face with the sauce from your big pink badongadong only 2 minutes in? Great burning Ursa Major balls. Man, you are terrible at this. Stephen started crying tears of bread. Now, dear Magnet, don't be sad. I'm still boss enough to make undying love to you until I swag all up in your swag hole. The Manticore comforted whilst violently fiddling with himself. Can I play my kazoo? Asked Stephen, stifling. Yes, you may. And so Stephen played his kazoo all through the night of their intense Serpent Manticore swaggy grind, and it sounded like this. And so you see, girls, it's just got so lonely here without visitors such as yourself. I simply had no choice but to befriend the Manticore. Maybe more. All 6 ponies gathered around Stephen were horrified and began vomiting uncontrollably. Except Pinkie. She kinda liked it, all things considered. Hey, Dr. Hooves, the Ditzy and the Dew, the Nightmare jumped over the moon. The little fillies laughed to see such a craft, and the Big Mac ran away with Scootaloo. That's all, folks. Get the fuck out of here. And that was Magnets and Manticores. I'm gonna be back another time with other silly fics and whatnot. Bye!